what I didn't know is that not all laser hair, like machines, are equal. In a nutshell, they were not made for Black women. They were not made for women of color. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, so today I'm going to be chatting about how I manage my facial hair with PCOS. I've been living with PCOS for, I believe, probably about 20 years now. And one of the big symptoms is excess body hair and facial hair on women. So if this is something that you struggle with and you're currently trying to figure out what's the best way to manage it, or if you're interested in particular about laser hair removal, I'm going to be sharing my experiences with laser hair removal and how I manage my facial hair while having PCOS. So before getting into this video, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell below, and follow me on my social media platforms, especially Instagram, because I am most active there. I started noticing at around 14 years old, I'd say 13, 14, I started noticing hair growth here, like on my neck and like my chin and sort of like jawline area. As I started getting older, it started getting much thicker and much worse, and it was spreading more like down here to my like entire neck area. I would say by the age of about 17 or so, I was already starting to try to remove or hide that hair. And at that time, because I didn't know, I was undiagnosed with PCOS. I didn't know what was actually wrong. So I just felt like I'm just hairier than all of my friends. I'm hairier than a lot of other girls my age. And it was something that, you know, when a lot of girls at that age are like, oh my gosh, I'm so insecure about my boobs. I'm so insecure about my stomach. I'm insecure about this. I'm insecure about that. For me, honestly, that was my insecurity. So this video is actually a really, really vulnerable video for me because it is still quite a big insecurity of mine. But I figured that, especially because I've been very open about my PCOS journey and how I was diagnosed and things like that, for me, it's part of that. It's all part of that journey and the reason why I am as hairy as I am. But if you want to hear more about my actual diagnosis, how I found out, the emotional trauma that came with that as well, do check out my video where I explain everything, all of the symptoms that I had and why I knew that something was not quite right. So yeah, I would say by the time I was around 17 or 18, because it got to the point where I was like, I know people are like noticing this now because it was quite thick. I think I started off like by just tweezing, you know? And at that point, I remember thinking like, if I tweeze my hair, I'd like, if I just remove it, it will go. Not really completely sort of thinking, but it's gonna grow back, you know? Time I'm like 25 or so, I've tried pretty much everything. I've tried shaving, waxing, threading, bleaching, epilatory creams. At that point, I was like, I just wanted to get rid of it, like on a more permanent basis. And that's when laser hair therapy started kind of like popping up. And so I got really excited because I was thinking, oh, great. By this time, I'm living in Joburg. So I find this place and I start going there for 6 sessions. You pay this much. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do the 6 sessions, you know. They would do the sessions, they do the therapy and all of that. And, you know, I'm thinking that, okay, I just need to keep going. I think it was like by the 5th, they're just like, oh, you know, we can actually like extend it at a discount to 10 sessions. Did the 10 sessions, but after the 10 sessions, I was like, guys, like this hair is still here and it is still coming back and it was still thick. Like there was no difference basically. It was like just getting a wax and then the hair grew back again, almost like with a vengeance. One of the therapists was like, look, you know, I actually think maybe there's something else going on here. I don't think that this is just as superficial as extra hair. I think maybe it's worth you checking your hormones out. What I didn't know is that not all laser hair, like machines, are equal, okay? So the way laser works, what I understand is that it works on pigmentation. So traditionally, the first laser hair removal machines, the best client for them is someone who is fair-skinned, so very, very light in complexion, and has dark hair. So the laser itself can actually distinguish between the hair and the skin. In a nutshell, they were not made for Black women. They were not made for women of color. So I was going to a place where, you know, looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have picked that up. they were using a machine that was not made for my skin. And so first and foremost, that was a huge, that it was never going to work. And then secondly, by then I hadn't been diagnosed with PCOS, so I wasn't doing any of the sort of hormonal kind of management that I should have been doing to also help with the hair growth. When I was 28 years old, I was officially diagnosed with PCOS. The doctor who started, sort of treating me for the hormonal part of it, he recommended a salon that actually specializes in women of color. So the salon that I go to is called NUYU. It's NUYU. I will put their details in the description box below. They are based in Centurion. It's run by an Indian family, and so they specialize in women of color. Okay, so if you are Indian, colored, black, they have the machines for us, and they have a lot of patients that are suffering from PCOS as well, so they're very, very knowledgeable about that. And at first, my treatment was every 6 weeks. My therapist there, he started off on a very aggressive treatment because he was like, this is the best way to just get rid of the hair. And then after that, it just becomes a management thing. I did the every 6 weeks for a few months, like I'd say maybe about 6 months or so. Once my hair started growing back very, very thin and much slower, he expanded that time frame to every 12 weeks. I just go these days now. It's really a maintenance thing, just to manage people's expectations. Not all laser hair removal is permanent. So I know that's the appeal of it, and I'm not gonna lie, even for me, I was like, I was excited about it. But he did tell me up front, look, there's a huge chance that this is not going to permanently remove the hair because you have a continuing hormonal imbalance in your system. The hair will probably still come, but what I can say is that it's going to grow back much slower. It's going to grow back much thinner as well. So at least you're not stressing about it every month or however often that you were removing your hair before. As I've gotten older and as I've had my kids, the hair has kind of like started to creep up here as well, like kind of like above my jawline. So this whole area here is where I do my laser hair removal. It takes my therapist about maybe 5 minutes, if not less, to do this whole area. Just some sort of like pointers from my experience. On a pain level, I would say laser is the most painful of all of the hair removal things that I've done. If you have a low pain threshold and tolerance for pain and everything, think about it. I kind of pushed through it because I was like, I've given birth. I don't think anything's gonna be worse than this, you know what I mean? So I tolerate it. And also because it's quick. So it's very similar to waxing in the sense that it's over quickly. It's not like a pain that's like there for minutes and minutes on end. You feel the actual laser striking your hair. I was thinking about actually going into my next appointment, recording some, the actual session itself. So let me know if that's something that you would actually like to see, so you get a bit of a better idea of what to expect. So the aftercare of it, basically just stay out of direct sun. Your skin is very, very raw at that time. I put this special ointment on specifically for laser hair therapy. They do sell it there at the salon at NUYU. So I just bought it there, and it's like a ointment kind of gel kind of thing that I put over or on the area, and that helps to repair the skin and to protect it against any damage and things like that. That's really helped, especially with scarring and stuff, because I know that is something that a lot of women are worried about. I don't get any ingrown hair, so that was something that I was really struggling with. Waxing, it wasn't as bad, but just tweezing and stuff like that, depilatory creams and stuff, I would still get ingrown hairs, and I would always sort of think but it's better than the actual hairs. But it doesn't look good either, and those would get dark. From an affordability point of view, I guess it's all relative. Because I'm a regular client, I know that they give me a little bit of a discount. I think for what I do, you're looking to pay about 300 to 350 Rand per session. Paying that every other month, every 6 weeks, and which is what I'm doing now is every 12 weeks, it's really not that bad compared to how much a lot of us are spending on nails, on hair, head hair and other beauty treatments. I think it's at the end of the day, what makes sense for you, what your priorities are, So there are those women who are I can't leave the house without my nails being done. I'm one of those women that's I can't leave the house without, my hair being removed. That's my thing. So I'm even if I had to pay twice as much or thrice as much, I would do it. So yeah, that has been my experience with laser hair removal, especially because I have PCOS. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell below so you can get alerted to all of my new videos, and check out some of my other videos while you're here, especially if you do have PCOS. I do chat about PCOS a lot in some of my other videos, so check them out. And I will see you in the next video.